right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the August meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission. This time we'll call the meeting to order. As always, we'll start with the prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. Eddie Miller has agreed to lead us in that. Eddie, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you let us use these blessings to help others who are less fortunate.
Yes.
Please be with this commission today and help us to make good decisions. We also pray for peace and goodwill in the world. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Let's say the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Eddie. I believe everybody received their packet earlier in the week, and the minutes were contained in that packet from our July meeting. At this time, we'll entertain any corrections or changes that need to be made, and if there are none, a motion for approval.
I move approval.
Gloria?
Second.
A second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you, Mitzi. As everybody knows, this is our Fearless Leaders' last meeting. Lanny, I got to tell you, when I got the packet, they've lobbed you a softball here. I mean, we've got a pretty light agenda, and nothing controversial is going to get light. So
go out in style.
Going out in style, let me tell you. Well, the first item is Chad Hill's going to tell us about a consideration for a program restructure for homeschool PE at Patterson Park. Chad, welcome.
Thank you. I propose that we restructure the homeschool PE program from a drop-in pay by the class to a semester type program and change the fee from $3 per visit to $50 per semester. So it will go from the fall semester, then we'll have a spring semester. Currently we offer, there's 32 classes that they could participate in the fall. At $3 per class, this is $96. So the $50 fee would actually be cheaper. One of the reasons we're doing this, because the instructors they don't know how many kids they're going to have. Sometimes they can have up to 40 kids. This way we could have them sign up and they can program and make it a more a better learning environment.
Okay, thanks, Chad. Is there any questions of Chad regarding this change? If there are none, we need a motion for acceptance as presented.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Chad, thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Melinda Tate is with us to discuss the consideration of the Noon Lions Club bench donation for the Greenway. Melinda, and your guest, welcome.
Yes. Today I have with me Reverend Lyons and Mr. Long from the Murfreesboro Noon Lions Club, and they came to us with a proposal to donate some benches for the Greenway. And this is part of their centennial year. They wanted to do a legacy project, which will hopefully last about 3 years. And they would like to raise funds and donate benches as the funds come available. And as y'all know, the Greenway is getting longer and longer, and we could sure use those benches. We're looking at the type with the back. They're the composite material that will be placed along the trail, so that when people are walking, running, biking, when they get tired, they can rest along the trail. And hopefully these will decide later exactly where they need to go based on how far apart they are. We don't want it to be in a flood area. So at this time, I am seeking approval for the bench, possibly plural.
Plural. We hope. Excuse me. We hope for it to be an ongoing project, at least over the next 3 years, where we can put some benches in this year, put some more in next year, and so on as the years go along. Of course, for the Lions Club for the past 100 years, it's been primarily sight, But we've gotten into a lot of other things, working locally with the local communities. And this year, a member of our community, Chancellor Bob Corlew, happens to be the international president. He went in as president last month, and he has asked all of the clubs to do a legacy project to help as many people as possible, and something that would be long-lasting and ongoing. That's why we came up with the benches.
All right.
There will be a plaque placed on the back of each one that says donated by the Murfreesboro Noon Lions Club.
Awesome.
And we are seeking approval for this project.
Any questions regarding this? Eddie?
I know that I've seen several different designs of benches and stuff that people are getting a little more creative with them as recently, trying to make sure that they remain as seats and not lounges and that type thing. Are these benches that you're suggesting, are they designed for just a single person to sit on with dividers in them that breaks it up into seats, or are we talking about something that could turn into?
This is a long bench, no dividers, and they'll be along the trail. And
We already
it
have
could
some
fit-
out there.
Yes,
Like
we
at Thompson
already
Lane
have some.
Trailhead, I think there's ones that probably similar to those.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It'll be the same design as the ones we already have. Not like at the trailheads. At the trailheads, we have some of the iron decorative type. Along the trail, they look more natural.
Okay.
And we'll leave the placement of them up to the Greenway committee to decide where they need them and let them do the installation of them.
I'm dancing around what I'm really trying to ask. Let me just ask it a little more bluntly. These aren't going to turn into cots for a homeless population, is
No.
it?
I don't
Is
think
this
I don't think they would be.
is this something that we can manage and control? I guess is my question, because I don't want us to put something there that's going to turn in. I know even on the square we've had problems with benches in the past where people would take ownership of a bench and say, this is my bench and nobody else can use it. I don't want to see that happen out on our Greenway system.
Yeah, I haven't heard of anything along the trail. I don't think we've had any issues with that.
Okay.
So.
I
Let
don't
me-
think they would be conducive to long-term living, you know.
Yeah, and the reason I'm asking is they make benches that are divided so that they're like 3 seats, and it's not quite the lounge that you might turn it into. So if that's an option that you might consider, I'd appreciate it, because I think it's a really good idea to have the benches, because I appreciate everything that the Lions Club does. You guys do a phenomenal job, and you have in the past, and I'm sure you'll continue to. But if there is an option out there that would prevent it from happening, so if it's there, then I'd appreciate if you at least consider it.
And that may be something that, if it does become a problem, we can look at in the future. But right now, I don't think we have any, not along the trail.
Gloria?
Yes. Let me commend you on that proposal. One of the fondest memories I have of my parents with the Thompson Lane Greenway was to look back and see them sitting on the benches each afternoon when we'd go, and I'd walk or wog, and I would see them sitting there, and that's a memory that I will always have of them. So thank you so much for that.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments? If there are none, we need a motion for approval as presented.
I move approval.
Thank you, Gloria.
I second it.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Reverend Lyons, Mr. Long, thank you. Thank everybody in your program.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melinda. Angela Jackson is going to go. You have a draft proposal here for some rules regarding food trucks and parks, and she'll kind of give you the background. You may have seen some of the stuff in the newspaper about what the council is considering. And Angela, tell us all about it.
Thank you. What I brought before you today is not a proposal for consideration. It's more informational. As some of you may know, the city has been working to incorporate an ordinance and some different rules and regulations to encourage food trucks and to best manage that. Part of those discussions include how they fit into park space. There will be upcoming public meetings and opportunities for input as those plans come together. And what I wanted to share with this group, because of your role as our park commission, was some ideas of where we were thinking that we would go to complement that ordinance in terms of our rules for the food trucks in parks. So this is meant just for your information if you choose to participate in those stakeholder meetings and upcoming discussions as the city ordinance is being guided, and then later you will expect to find a version of this that does fit and complement that ordinance as it relates to parks. And at that point we would consider a moving beyond that draft to a proposal for your approval. But if you'll look and kind of see, I think there's an acknowledgement as we move forward of how our parks are structured, what we have in the ways of special events and leagues that are operating concessions and the importance of those concessions, as well as opportunities to be encouraging. I know Mr. Williams and his staff have been working on some Food Truck Friday concepts or some different ways to really serve the community, literally, in terms of serving food. If you'll look through the attached pages, there are proposals for where we might designate for food trucks to go. So as they call to make reservations, these are sites that our staff has considered that we think would be a conducive place to put it, ways they're not going to interrupt traffic flow, where they're not going to block some of the walkway areas, but a visible and beneficial place that they could be.
Great. Anybody have any questions of Angela regarding this? And again, it requires no vote. It's information only. Any questions?
I know we've got the upcoming meetings with the stakeholders, and certainly encourage everybody to participate and be involved with the process. I know it's concerns about brick and mortar and especially the concession stand operations who have made comments and stuff with their concerns about the food trucks, and hopefully we'll wind up with the perfect ordinance if everybody will take advantage of the opportunity to have input, and so I encourage everybody to participate.
Thanks, Eddie. Okay, last, certainly not least, Melinda is going to give us the upcoming events update.
Okay, our fearless leader is leaving us, but the show must go on. We still have things that are going on. We've got a lot of upcoming events planned for August and going into the fall. And if I can make this work, there we go. The first thing is this Friday, we've got the end of summer luau at Patterson Park Pool. This Friday, August 5th, from 5 until 9. There'll be lots of swimming and food. There's free admission, and it's limited to the first 50 participants. And if you have any questions, call Patterson Park at 615-893-7439. The following day, this Saturday, it's back to school time with Murfreesboro City Schools from 10 until 1 at Cannonsburg Village. It's a lot of fun for the entire family. We'll have entertainment, games, and giveaways. Make sure you bring your camera. You can bring a picnic lunch. And the staff at Cannonsburg will be there to explain some of the buildings in the village. So it's a good opportunity to come and take a tour. The phone number there is 615-890-0355. And again, this Saturday, 10 to 1 at Cannonsburg. And I got creative with my PowerPoint here. Friday, August 12th, there's a free summer concert at Barfield Crescent Park at Pavilion 7 from 6 until 8 p.m. Grizzly Goat will be appearing. They are a little bit bluegrass, a little bit rock and roll. It's free for all ages. Just bring a blanket or a chair for seating. That should be a lot of fun. And although our regular Movies Under the Stars is finished, we do have a bonus Movies Under the Star showing Friday, August 12th at the Murfreesboro Airport, 8:30 p.m. And, of course, the movie that we're showing, appropriately enough, is Planes. Murph's Fun Run is another collaboration with Murfreesboro City Schools. It is Saturday, August 20th at the Gateway Island and Trail. Starts at 9 a.m., and it's a 1-mile fun run. It's for kids, but a lot of the adults run it too. So it's fun for all ages. The fee is one or more new school supply that will be donated for our Murfreesboro City Schools. They, from what I understand, they especially need 2-pocket 3-prong folders and some spiral notebooks if you're going shopping this weekend. Canonsburg is we're holding our annual community yard sale Saturday, August 27th, of course, at Canonsburg from 7 until 12. It's free to come. If you'd like a booth space, contact Sheila Hodges at Canonsburg, 615-890-0355. And another event at the Wilderness Station, the Hummingbird Festival. At my house, I've got about 5 or 6 that are zooming around. They are fascinating to watch. It's Saturday, September 3rd from 10 until 4. There will be children's activities, hummingbird merchandise, and then a representative with Southeastern Avian Research will be there talking about the hummingbirds, and you can watch as she bands the birds, which I have no idea how she does that, how she even catches them, but that should be interesting to go to. It is free for all ages. And our Friends of the Greenway group is accepting applications for the Greenway Art Festival. That'll be held Saturday, September 17th at Old Fort Park. And the deadline to have a booth is August 15th before the fee increases. The committee is looking for original artwork such as paintings, oil paintings, acrylics, watercolors, as well as pottery, sculpture, glassware, mixed media, that type of thing. Any original artwork. Spots are available still to run in the middle half, and this is the 10th year since Parks and Rec and the Murfreesboro Half Marathon came together to start the event. And for more information or to register, just go to themiddlehalf.com. And for more information on these events or any other events, you can call the Parks and Rec office at 615-890-5333 or visit the website at murfreesborotn.gov/parks. And we've got lots of Facebook pages that will keep you updated as well. Does anybody have any questions?
A lot of stuff as usual, Melinda.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
Thank you.
If I could add one more to the list, on Thursday, August the 11th, we will be celebrating Mr. Goodwin at his retirement party at Patterson Park Community Center from 2 to 4.
Thanks, Angela. Only item I had under other business is I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to say goodbye to Mr. Goodwin, not permanently, just from that seat right there, Lanning. But I'll kick us off. I've had the privilege of serving on this commission for over 20 years. So I've been with Lanny a long time, and he's a good friend and great man. And I think in anybody's career, a great barometer of what you've done is, you're leaving your post with your, what you're in charge of in a better position than when you found it. And arguably, I don't think anybody could argue the fact that, our department, the services and the facilities that we have compared to when Lanny started, or there is no comparison. You've done and seen a lot, and the city's a better place for it. And I thank you for your service, and I wish you and your family the best of luck in retirement.
Thank you. I want to ditto what Mr. Chairman here said, and Lanny, your leadership and experience has just left its mark on this community, just in numerous activities and buildings and just all kinds of just great stuff that's going on here. And the awards that we get every year are second to none in anybody in the state in the Southeast. So we want to thank you for that. And as Dee mentioned, you've left us with a staff that can just, again, is second to none. And they're going to be able to take the reins over and we'll just keep on doing what we're doing. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Lanny, I just want to compliment you on the phenomenal job you've done at bringing us from what we were to where we're at today, which, we think back when we were younger, we remember having 2 or 3 ball fields around and a couple of small parks, and that was our recreation department. And Ray Duffy, I guess, started out with Ray Duffy, and it evolved, and we've gone through a couple of directors now, but the job that you've done has been phenomenal. And you look at the process of the major park projects that we have going on now, and the major renovations and stuff that you've done lately. We've got an award-winning department, and every one of those awards goes directly back to who was in charge, and that goes back to you. So thank you so much for the phenomenal job that you've done with this department. And I know you're leaving it in good hands, but while your hands were on it, everything was awfully nice. So thank you again.
Thank you. And I, too, echo those sentiments. As you know, we have had some really great battles to fight. But as long as we were advocating for the right reasons, it was always easy to follow your leadership. You made it look easy. So I extend my congratulations to you and your family, because they too sacrifice for the community. And your professionalism has always been first class. Thank you.
Lanny, in that movie, when I look at you, I kept looking across at you today, and I kept thinking about the movie, Remember the Titans, when the guy got hurt and the coach was asked, how are you going to replace a Bertie? And he said, there's no way we can replace. That's how we feel about you, Lanny. There's no way we can replace a Lanny Goodwin. I don't want this to sound like a eulogy or anything, but
let's hope not.
But also I'm thinking about, it says, let your work speak for you, and your works has definitely spoken for you, Lanny. Our city, in our rec department, and in our management department, we're much better because you've been here. And I'd like to personally wish you Godspeed with good health. Enjoy your retirement, enjoy your family, and hey, on those stormy days, just turn over. And don't even set the alarm, just throw that away. And just enjoy the rest of your life. Thank you.
Lanny is probably, I guess I've served the shortest term on the Parks and Rec Commission, but I always go back to the first time I ever met you. I'd sent that email asking, hey, swing sets in Rogers Park. And I think I actually sent it to the city council, and maybe they got forwarded to you. But you called me and said, hey, could we meet at Rogers Park? And you and Angela came out, and we walked through, and it just meant a lot to me as a citizen at that time to watch and to listen and to hear, and that you would take a citizen's request and follow through. We have swing sets there, and my kids love swinging on the swing set at Rogers Park. But that leadership and that example that I saw as a citizen now serving on this Parks and Rec Commission, I see it in all of the employees. I've had an opportunity to interact with many employees, and they reflect that same community service, that spirit of giving and attentiveness, and just an effort to make our community listen and to make our community better, and that's a reflection on you. And I've really enjoyed working with you on this commission, but also just seeing our parks reflect your personal commitment to the public. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I also agree with everyone is saying about you, Dr. Goodwin. Like Eddie, I remember growing up watching Mr. Ray Duffy. Kind of stayed over in the Oakland Park community, and I would see him, and to us, when he came through in that little green truck, recreation green truck, he was just like a legend, he was like a legend. All the kids loved him. He spoke to the kids, he greeted the kids. And then after his time up, Mr. Dennis Vernier came, and, he was still favored in the neighborhood. But as I look at this Parks and Rec, it's more than just turf and grass and ballparks. It's big. It's an industry. And I tell you, man, you have done such a wonderful job in growing this thing. And I'm sure if these guys were still around today, it would have amazed them how far you have taken this to the next level, And as a local, I see the city growing, and as the city grows, Parks and Recs growing, and I tell you, it's just amazing. So just thank you for all the good work that you've done these last years you've done on the board and being a commissioner. You've done a great job. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Lenny, I'm the last one here. I talked to you a minute or two before we started, but I'll repeat so everyone will know what I told you. I wish the very best for you. I have been very privileged to serve on this commission the whole time you've been director. I've come to you on 2 or 3 things. Hopefully, I've helped you. I know you have helped me. I am a retired city employee myself with the Birchburg Department. I've been fortunate 26 years, and I only hope that life is as good and God is as good to you as He has been to me for another 26 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everybody. Lanny?
Well, just some closing comments and just tell you how much I appreciate you as a commission. I was cleaning out my old Rolodex, throwing away some numbers that didn't apply anymore, and ran across some interesting stuff. One was when I first got here, one of the secretaries handed me a Rolodex and said, "We've already put the numbers and names and everything in there that you need." And one of them was the commission members. And so Paul Kennedy, I don't know if any of you remember Paul Kennedy, D. May, he worked for the gas company, and he was the chair of the commission when I started. Andy Womack was the vice chair. Mary Huda and Mary Scales were the council members that represented on the commission. Dr. Carson Taylor was on the commission, later to chair the commission. And then Jimmy Smith, an insurance agent here in town. Dick Baines, Dr. Gillespie, who has passed on, worked at the university. And then Dr. John Hodge Jones was our school representative. Of course, he was the superintendent of schools then. And then the city council was listed in there as well. Joe B. Jackson was the mayor. Of course, I started under Clyde Fight. He was city manager when I started, and then later Roger became city manager, and then later Mr. Lyons. So 3 city managers since I've been here. John Pittard, the late John Pittard was on the council. Chris Bratcher, Richard Reeves, Mary Scales, Mary Huda, and Roger Haley. So those were folks that were here at the beginning, and we've had a tremendous amount of really wonderful commission members that has come and gone, and I know Dee has seen a lot of those just like I have, and council members. And we have Madeline
that now represents us, and it's a pleasure to have started with the scales and to have a scales at the end. So just a couple of things, and I don't want to bore you, but I'm the 5th director of the department that started in 1945, and I'm the only living director at this point. So that kind of affected me a little, I think, when I looked at that. And like most of you said, there's been, gosh, a lot of things. I know when I got here, Sports Com had been built basically 1 year, and we were gathering hay off the area where Starplex is, and Barfield Crescent Park wasn't here, the Greenway wasn't here. I've seen a lot. I've really seen it through the best parts, I think. But we do have a good staff. I've always heard that a good leader will surround themselves with good people. And we have some great folks. So I think the future is strong for Parks and Recreation. We have positioned ourselves not only to be the leader in Middle Tennessee, but also be the leader in the state and in the southeastern United States. And we've positioned ourselves to be that community when people are reaching out to look at whether it's a tournament, special event, hosting, conferences, those kind of things. Murfreesboro is a place they want to come to. And so we're very proud of those accomplishments. But all of that said, none of that would have happened without the efforts of the staff, the council, the commission, and administration. So it takes all of those folks to make sure that they're all on the same page, they're all thinking about the same mission, we're all heading down the same road. And everybody has really worked hard, and I want to thank you for allowing me to do that.
Well, don't be a stranger.
Okay.
Jim, we might have to bring him in for some consult on the West Park thing. You're not getting off that easy, buddy.
Okay.
That's the first thing I told him when he called me to tell him he's retired. I was like, right as we're getting ready to crank up the West Park. Of course you are.
Well, let me tell you this. I was telling Jim, he says, he asked me as I came in something about, are you ready? And I said, well, ready or not, my wife retired last Friday. And so our grandkids came and spent the night with us last night. About 11:30, Jackson, who is my grandson, and I were having a Nerf war. And the other two they were dodging. But I looked at it and I said, man, I got to go to work tomorrow. So I have a little jet lag from that. But Jackson and Taylor, my grandkids, they're home watching today. So hi, Jackson, hi, Taylor. But we're going to be spending quite a bit of time with them.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best, and we look forward to seeing you back here just as a citizen.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck to you, Lanny. Is there any other business to come before the commission? Being none, we stand adjourned. Enjoy the rest of your day.